Baseball Books and Banter with me, your host, Nicole. I am wearing my baseball stuff today because my brother and my dad are down at spring training. Um, so, yay for them. Haven't seen them on TV yet. The Red Sox are losing, but it's only the third inning because it's spring training. So, pretty much all the baby pitchers are going in, the ones that may not make the roster, but maybe, who the heck knows. So nobody's sent me any pictures yet, which is really annoying. They're not like me living on Instagram, but shout out to Rob and Brandon down at spring training. So if you're down there, they're going to be at the game today. They're going to be at the game tomorrow. And I think that's it. So good for them. And I told them to take my books to take pictures, but family is really bad at helping you with marketing. Let's just put it that way. They're showing a old school Manny Ramirez. My grandfather used to call him Manny Ramirez, and we thought it was adorable because he's like, oh, that Ramirez guy, he's my favorite. So I think it was just the way he said it. Before we jump into today's podcast with Kellie Murphy, who is a gosh darn delight, let's talk about some things I'm obsessed with. So the Olympics are over, and as the last day of the Olympics was the Red Sox, the USA versus Canada men's hockey game the day before the women won the gold, which was super excited against Canada. And I made a funny little video on Instagram, a little Instagram reel of me imitating one of my favorite creators, Cam Loves Sports, which he's on Instagram and on TikTok. Please go follow him because he does more than just sports. But basically, I was talking about how cute a lot of the men's hockey players were. Well, I posted my cute little video, went to bed, woke up the next morning, and all of the boys on the team decided to be stupid idiots and laugh at the girls' gold medal. Oh, it's such a joke. The president was making a joke. This president doesn't make jokes, people. Like, I don't know what we're doing here. So that was disappointing, especially from my Hughes boys, who I was very excited for Jack for winning hitting the golden goal, and also Quinn with his seeing ghosts. But now, like, I'm bummed because now they're just horrible people. Because then they went to the White House, and I'm especially disappointed in Charlie McAvoy and Jeremy Swayman because those are my team guys. And Charlie's always been a progressive voice up here, so for him to be palling around with an administration that literally this morning decided to start a war with Iran for what reason? Because I don't know. I'm not like a military genius, but when has a Middle Eastern war gone well for us? Maybe once or twice, but not recently. Maybe we should have just released the Epstein files and we could have gotten rid of them. But I'm sorry if this is a little too political for you. I get it. But at the same time, we are not living in normal times. But I will continue to talk about my silly little books and my silly little escapism because I need to have some joy in my life because this administration is actively going out of their way to sow discontent, fight against marginalized people, and start a war where none of their children are going to fight over there. And they have no skin in the game. So frankly, it's very disappointing and I can't talk about it right now, but I was very annoyed because now it is also the most popular video on my Instagram is me thirsting over these hot hockey players, but it turns out they're all horrible humans. And I posted a Facebook quote from Tina Fey where it tells you the character of a person at what they laugh at. So you can say they were uncomfortable, so they laughed uncomfortably, fine. But at the same token, not one of them came out and said, well, I didn't hear what he said. That's what he said, it's super unfunny. These women worked their tails off. And then the way they kept talking about the girls. No, these are women. And you aren't boys, you're adult grown men. You can stand up for yourself. So it was just really disappointing. Is it going to temper my hockey fandom? Probably not. But it does make me look at some of the players differently. So I still enjoy my video because I find it funny because I love Cam Loves Sports, who makes these videos with this infectious giggle and it makes me smile. But at the same token, know that I'm not condoning them because I think that's a character issue on their part. So I was bummed because I was like, oh my God, I finally get engagement and now they've just ruined everything. Ugh, boys. It's always boys that ruin everything, which we sort of talk about in the podcast. So it's kind of funny, but it's not really boys. It's whatever. Red Sox just tied it in spring training. So good for my dad and brother for getting a good game out of this. Another thing I'm obsessed with, I forgot what I was going to talk about because I'm so fired up about them being stupid. Spring training, baseball season's right around the corner. So I'm obviously obsessed with that. Yeah, I guess I forgot. I was so riled up about everything that just happened that I forgot all of my obsessions. I'm obsessed with my kitten Cooper May, even though he won't let me pick him up. He sleeps with me every night and he purrs so loud. And right now the captain's sleeping in her shark and Madeline's probably laying on a heating vent. Although we had 26 inches of snow on Monday, it's 50 degrees out now. So like my sinuses are going to be acting up. I'm going to have a cold. It's going to be ridiculous. So not a ton I'm obsessed with. Obviously, still love Diet Coke. Still waiting for that sponsorship. I'm here if you guys need me. But on that note, I'm just going to get right into the podcast because it was a great discussion. We talk about our love for the community, the difference between short fiction, long fiction, and how you kind of break into that. Um, it's a fascinating thing. She writes both detective and then also historical adjacent, historical dual timeline books, and I just find that fascinating. And I could have talked to her for forever, but she also gave some really great book recommendations at the end. So I hope you enjoy. Her website will be in the link, and enjoy Katie. Or I'm sorry, her name's not Katie. Why did I say that? Her name's Kellie. Kellie Murphy, KL Murphy. I don't know why Katie came out. Sorry, Kellie. You're a Kellie. Irish Unite. But anyway, Kellie Murphy, KL Murphy in your Amazon searches, your bookshop shirt searches. And oh, I thought they were hitting a home run. Sorry, I got distracted. Enjoy the podcast, guys. My head's all over the place. Welcome to the podcast. I'm so excited.
Thank you for having me.
You were one of the first Level Besties um, so for those that are listening who don't know, we are Level Best book authors. My book has not come out yet. Any of your books, the Callie Ford series is Level Best,
Yes,
right?
two are out and the third comes out in September.
Right. And my third's coming out in September, but my first with Level Best. But we have these meetings and it's nice to kind of get all the authors together. And I just, throw out on the chat, be like, hey guys, I have a podcast. So if you have a book coming out or a book that came out, or you just want to like shoot the S for 40 minutes,
Yeah.
come talk to me. And Kellie reached out and she was like, hi, I'm a Level Best author. And I was like, yeah, you can join. Just pick a day and time and I will be there. So welcome, Kellie Murphy, who writes under KL Murphy.
Yes.
Is I'll let you do your introduction so you can tell the people about yourself and your writing.
Okay. My name is Kellie Murphy, and I do go by KL Murphy. And that was a decision made with the editor of the first book that ended up coming out under that name. And mostly because there are other Kellie Murphys, and it's somewhat generic.
Sure.
But we kind of went, and then my full name, which originally I had wanted to start with, is too long.
Okay.
Just, if you do first, middle, and
That's a
last name.
lot.
So people ask me all the time, did you do KL so that it wouldn't appear that you were a woman, which I
Mm-hmm.
think was the old
Yeah.
way possibly of doing it, but honestly has nothing to do with it.
No.
And yeah, and my youngest daughter's friends then sometimes would call me KL instead of Mrs.
Oh,
Murphy. It became like a
a thing. Yeah.
fun thing. Yes, yes.
I
So I
I like
actually
that
have embraced it.
it wasn't the choice to be like, oh, because
Not at
I
all.
think I had Sharon Manning on, and she was because she was writing spy novels, and I think when her first spy novel came out, they were like, "Ooh, I don't know if men will read." They're so fragile, men, that they can't read a book
Yeah,
with an author.
no, this
So
was just about a little over 10 years ago, and I think that ship has sailed
I
a long
agree.
time ago. There are way too many
I agree.
successful female mystery and thriller
I agree
authors, and
completely.
yeah, it's just that's a very
It's
dated.
a holdover from the old
It's a whole
everybody has
different.
to be traditionally published, but the big five and the big five have to do their marketing. No, we all do our own marketing. So,
Yes.
if I'm going to market my name, it's going to be my name.
Yep.
But I do appreciate the fact that you differentiated yourself from all the other Kellie Murphys.
Yes. Yes.
Because again, as we talked
Yes.
about previously, we're Irish and there's a lot of Kellie Murphys,
There are a lot of
so
Kellie Murphys. Yes, there
definitely keep
are.
yourself um, open. But how, so you write both short and long form, I guess is
Yes.
the way to put it. I am not a short story writer, so I'm always constantly impressed by short story writers. Is it a chicken and the egg thing? Like, did you start with short stories and move to novels, or did you write novels then move to short stories?
It's a little of both. When
Okay.
I first started writing long form, I sent it out to agents. I did get, a
Yeah.
request or two for some fulls, and you don't know what you don't know. And the book was 110, 115,000 words,
Yeah. Oof.
maybe even 120. It was way too
Yeah.
long.
That's a big book.
It was a big book. And she was nice in her
Like, I
rejection.
really like your voice, but there's so much of it.
Yes, she was very really nice. So I started doing some short story contests, like legitimate ones.
Yeah.
There's a Ray Bradbury one that,
Oh,
is done out of this library. And I did it to learn economy of words.
oh, okay.
And it was more just to enhance the craft writing. And so I really like doing them occasionally for that reason. It's hard to tell a story
Oh, yeah.
in fewer words. You need to realize you have to have fewer characters. You need to really hone in on your plot. You can't have a million subplots running. It's just really a great way to practice.
And I think it's such a skill that some writers don't, and it's probably because I haven't done it, that I maybe haven't tried to do it, because it's daunting to be like, oh my gosh, it has to be under 5,000 words. Oh my god,
Yeah.
what am I going to do? I will say my
Yeah.
second book started as a short story, and I did economize, but then when you have to adapt it for long form, then I get to play and have more fun with
Right.
more characters and change up the plot a little bit. And so the people that read the story way back in the early 2020s, it probably isn't the same story, but I do think it's definitely a skill that I love. And I love Sisters in Crime, and which you're a member, and also Mystery Writers America, because they do help with classes for that skill, and they have so many people and
They do.
anthologies, and I love your website with all the anthologies, because it shows the range of what there can be, which there
Yes.
are so many ways you can break into short story writing.
It's true. And Sisters in Crime actually was my first short story. So my chapter, the first published short story,
Sure, sure,
I had had some get some honorable mentions in contests, and but I stopped doing that a decade ago,
sure.
writing for these contests. So um, several years ago, my chapter was going to do an anthology, and they had, a submission entries, and it was chosen, so it was great. And then this last one, last one that was published, I got to co-edit the anthology
Oh,
for my chapter, and that was with Josh Pachter, and he is one of the best short story
wow.
writers and editors out there. So what a treat to work with
Sure.
him. But he always tells people to join the Short Fiction Mystery Society if you're interested in short story writing.
Okay,
He
that's
has all kinds of tips, leads, contacts, who's looking for short stories, all kinds of great information.
and like
And
you
it's free.
said, that, magic words.
Free.
Which chapter are you with?
Short Fiction Mystery Society. Oh, my Central Virginia chapter.
Central Virginia, right? Because you're down in that area.
Yes, I'm in
Um,
Richmond.
I was gonna say Richmond, but I didn't want to like blow up your spot. But you blew up your
That's
spot,
okay.
so that's so.
It's
If
okay.
all the tens of listeners here, come to try to find you.
It's okay.
um, but yeah, I think that's really interesting about the short fiction. And we have so I'm Sisters in Crime New England, and we have a short story group that meets once a month. And
Oh,
and I have not gone to it yet, which I probably should because I'm the president of the chapter now. I should probably know what they're talking about, but I think it's that community, the short story community. I love
They're
because
strong.
they're strong, they're help. I mean, the crime community is too, but just having that little bit, like Barb Guffman, who
Yeah,
just writes prolific short stories,
she's
and
amazing.
it's exactly, and never, not once have I ever heard bad things. I don't know if that was like a triple negative, but it's like I've never
No,
heard bad things about
she's
them.
universally loved
Uh-huh.
as a person and for her work.
And
And that's really
and you know what the
great.
funny thing is? People are always like, "Ooh, crime writers. Ooh, they're so scary and dark." And I'm like, I have not met one that I'm like scared of. And even horror writers, like they're the nicest people. They will, I mean, there's obviously bad apples in every bunch, but a majority of the people are so welcoming and so kind. And even if you're not their cup of tea, they're not gonna yuck your yum. They're gonna be like, you know what, do this instead, or try this,
Yeah.
work on this. And I saw you're gonna be at Malice in April,
Yes.
and I will be there too. So we're gonna
Oh, good.
I'm gonna try to get all of us, well, not Level Besties because they do it, but all our podcast people together just to
Oh,
have
that would be
drink
great.
or something. So stay tuned.
That's one of my favorite
Me
conferences.
too.
It's my books don't necessarily fit exactly, but I love the community so
Yeah,
much. And it's an easy one for me to get
sure.
to be honest.
Sure.
Uh, I did VoucherCon the last couple of
Yeah.
years,
Like
which
what's in Calgary this year? Yeah,
it's in
that's a haul.
Calgary, and I kind of wanted to go because I really wanted, but I have my son's getting married
Oh
that
yeah,
month. It's
that's a
too
lot of
much.
expenses in one year.
It's too much.
He but next year it's in DC. So
Oh, I'll definitely
me
be
too.
there.
That's the one I was like, all right, I'll make sure that's on the calendar. I went to the one in New Orleans and before I had a book in 2017. So I went as a reader,
Yeah, I
essentially.
was there.
Oh
I've
yeah.
been a
Oh,
couple times. Yeah, I've been in the New Orleans one a couple times.
I'm not a, I think my New England blood was too thin for New Orleans or too
Oh,
whatever, because I was hot the entire time and I hated it.
oh, I
And I
love New
don't drink
Orleans.
and I
Maybe
don't,
maybe I wasn't at that one. I
yeah, that
was at
was,
the one I just went to, and then one I was
oh,
going to
yep.
New Orleans was canceled.
Oh, yeah, probably
That's
during that
during
time.
COVID.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's the one I was going to go to. Yeah.
Okay. But honestly, and that's one of those ones I think since COVID is harder for me to kind of get into because it's so big and it's so many people.
It's
And,
big.
but I think being part of Level Best now, they have a little bit more organization on getting your books there and doing all that kind of stuff. So,
There's always a
yeah,
little get together.
right.
You know, now that Left Coast is going on right now,
Yeah.
you have a little Left Coast envy, like, oh, I
I
wish I was at Left
Such
Coast with
FOMO.
everyone.
I'm liking every picture on Facebook,
Yeah.
Instagram, and I'm like, oh, they're having such fun.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
I didn't want to take that flight, but, and not only that, my dad and my brother are in Florida for spring training. So I have FOMO
Oh,
for that
nice.
too. Cause
Oh, yeah.
I'm a little TMI. I'm not a big flyer at the moment. My anxiety gets ramped up. So I'm like, you guys go, it'll be fun. And of course, then we got a blizzard and then it's going to snow tomorrow. So I'm like, oh, I should have probably went.
You should have gone.
I should
Yeah.
have just sucked it up, take some drugs, get on that plane.
My
Because
nephews are there because they're big
oh,
baseball players. So they're down there too. Yeah.
where are they? Do you know which? You're like, I don't know. They're my
Uh.
dad and brother at Fort Myers for the Red Sox because
Oh, they might. So one of them is a big Red Sox fan. So they
okay.
might be there.
My God. I texted my dad and my brother today and I said, take a picture of what you're wearing because I
Oh,
am
yeah.
watch the game at 1 o'clock. Show me where your seats are and I'll watch for you. I know one of these days, it's either today or tomorrow, it's Jimmy Buffett Day at the park,
Oh,
and they're giving out shirts.
oh,
And my dad's a
fun.
big Jimmy Buffett fan because he's of a
Yeah.
certain age.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoy the Buffett. But yeah, so I'll let them do their boy thing and I'll just I mean, I don't know what the weather's like down there today, but it's 50 degrees out here today
Yeah. It's nice here today
and
too, but
sunny.
it's threatening snow tomorrow night.
That's what I think we're gonna get. But we're
Yeah.
not supposed to get like a ton. Like I say that as last week we had 25 inches, so we're not supposed to get a ton. It's only gonna be like 3 inches. But yeah, I don't know if you because so do you write is full time writer your career or do you work?
No, I'm not working anymore. So it's just this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's kind
yeah.
of nice, FOMO. Because I was going to ask, do you find it easier to write during these times of years when you can't be out? Well, I guess Richmond's not super cold all the time, but
It's
does
not.
does the weather kind of influence your writing? Do you find it, or because
Yeah, a
you're
little
doing
bit. And obviously, when there's things to do outdoors,
yeah,
there's
hard.
there's a lot of tasks that
Mhm.
need to be done. So really, I think I'm like most people. There's a procrastination that
Oh,
happens.
good. God, you
I
said that.
definitely write better in the morning, and as the day goes on, if I haven't done it,
It's harder and harder.
it's harder. I think also fitting in the marketing is really hard.
Yeah.
And that's very easy to get distracted by because once you start doing it, you can spend hours creating certain
Uh-huh.
things and that writing time that is gone.
Yep.
So there are challenges. I think sometimes the busier you are, the more you get done.
Yeah.
So, I don't know
No,
if
I'm a born procrastinator. I mean, even my day job, but it gets done. But it's like, yeah, if there's a deadline, I find
deadlines are
like
good.
right, exactly.
Yeah,
It's to write something towards. Um,
yeah,
so I think, yeah, and I think some writers are better at that than others. Others are like, oh my God, deadlines, and then everything stops. But I'm
yeah,
of the same boat you are, where I'm like, oh, there's a deadline. Okay. And as it gets 2 days before the deadline, I'm like, oh, let's get going.
yeah.
Do it.
I know, I know.
Uh,
Sometimes you do your best work when you are really
yeah.
focused. Definitely when there's a deadline coming in to turn in a manuscript,
Mm,
you will find that my hours are way more than they should be.
sure. Sure.
So you're overworking
Yep.
for the
Yep.
days that you underworked.
Oh
It's
yeah.
okay.
Make that
It's
up,
okay.
right? Yeah. It's kind of like
Yeah,
on the weekends, you recover your sleep from the weekend
evens out.
in the week. Yeah. I mean, I say that as someone who doesn't sleep. So I'm like, I guess I just, perimenopause and cats, that doesn't mix because they're just awake all the time. As I'm watching my cat walk across the back of the
Aw.
TV, which makes me very nervous. I'm like, don't knock it over. Um, so I do want to talk about your books because you actually have a couple. Well, you have two series, right?
Yes.
The Detective Cassini,
Cancini.
Cancini. Is that done? That series? Are you
So
still
that
writing
is
that?
done for now. That book, that series was with an imprint of HarperCollins,
Cool.
and that imprint is not putting out new books. And I fell into the category they one by one started not renewing the series.
Sure.
So I don't know where I fell in that, but they stopped altogether. Some of the authors got a fourth book out
Yeah.
and some did not. But pretty much all the series ended at three books for
Okay.
most of their authors. So unless I get the rights back,
Yeah.
but it's
Do you
never
think,
off the
I was
table.
going to say, he's still in your head,
He's still in my head, but I think they're selling just enough.
right? Right. To keep
Uh,
it where they want to
yeah,
keep it and not give it back to you.
yeah.
You're like, come
So
on.
there's that series, and then the Callie Ford
Yep.
series, which is with Level Best.
Yep.
And then I have two standalones,
Right.
but one of the standalones, her sister's death, um, there's I that one, I think those characters are going to be in another book.
Oh, that's
So
nice.
that is sort of the beginning of a series also that wasn't immediately thought of, but
Mhm.
now it is something that I think is going to
And I like
happen.
that your two standalones, they're very different, but they kind of have a similar element of a historical piece with a
Yes.
present day, even though present day is in the 80s in one of them. But
Yes.
how did that come about? Is that something you've always wanted to do, or is it just somebody gave you a story and you're like, I need to write more about this?
So in 2017, I was in Nashville visiting friends, and one of my friends stopped at this historical marker, and we looked at it, and he wanted to show it to me because it had sort of gotten a little press. It
Mm.
was coming up on the 90-year anniversary of this train wreck that had happened in Nashville, which is the deadliest train wreck in U.S.
Wow.
history. And I was sort of curious about it, so I went home and started looking into it, and I was working on the third Cancini. So
Okay.
I didn't start it right away. I just started researching it. And it's slowly over time, that book started taking shape in my mind. I did a lot of research,
Mm.
and finally, the question was asked, are you ever going to start writing that
Yeah.
book? So I did start writing it, but that was a straight historical fiction.
Hmm.
But the time period was in my head. It didn't get picked up right away. So I sort of, put it in the proverbial
Yep. The
drawer.
drawer. Yep.
Yeah, proverbial drawer, lived on my computer. And but the time period was in my head. So and I had this other mystery that became her sister's
Yeah.
death. And I didn't plan it when I sat down to write it. I wrote the first chapter, which was in contemporary modern day. And the second chapter, the next chapters that became 1921 just happened.
Oh,
Probably
interesting.
because it was all living in my head this
Right.
time.
From the
So
other,
the
right.
same research.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, different cities, but you know,
Well, the time period,
the
it
time
still
period, the way they were
evokes something.
dressing and
Right.
yeah, things that were happening in the world,
Yeah.
all that sort of thing. So that's kind of how it happened. It wasn't intentional. It was
Weren't
just,
like, I'm going to write a historical
no,
novel
it's an
in
accidental
contemporary.
overlap.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
kind of
And so
cool.
the new one, to follow up
Yeah.
her sister's death, which doesn't have a title, that will also have a dual timeline, but
Okay.
the other dual timeline will be much more modern.
Okay. Because,
It won't be 100 years ago. It'll be more like
right.
30 years ago.
Okay. Because The Great Forgotten, which is the new book that came out in January. So I'm going to still
Yes.
call it a new book, even though we're in March tomorrow, because that's a new book.
It's still very new to
It's
me.
so new.
Yeah,
And
it's had a history too, which
yeah, and it's 1918, which is when the train wreck happened in
yes.
1988. Okay. Uh,
Yes.
and God, this makes I feel so old just saying this. I'm like, did you have to do what did you do for the 1988 research? Like, 'cause,
Nothing.
it
I mean, I lived it.
was it easy to write about that time period being, I mean, 1918, we have so much,
Yeah,
historical context. And the 80s, we do, but it's still, I mean, like I said, I feel like it's 15 years ago. Like it's not,
I know.
but it still feels relevant. So I just, is that kind of, did you have that in your mind
It
too?
wasn't hard because
Yeah.
giving my age away,
We're so
I was in
old.
my 20s
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
in 1988. I was working, living on my own, the whole business. So, it was you had a wall phone. You all of these things that
Yep.
were in that were just my own
Sure.
experience. I mean, they were just normal,
Yeah.
normal. No research. I didn't really get into specifics of clothing or
Sure.
anything like that, which I
Big hair, hairspray, all that.
no, no,
No,
no,
no,
no,
no.
no, no, no.
Hairband.
It wasn't necessary. It didn't add anything to
Yeah.
the story.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes it a little easier because it's kind of
Yeah.
just, you're just, she's the protagonist just living their life. It's not,
She's just living her life.
yeah.
And really, I think it would have been hard to take the reader to
Oh,
slap you in the face with all the details of both
right,
time periods. I want
right,
you immersed in 1918.
right.
1988 is the narrative structure to tell the 1918 story.
Okay.
So 1918 has to be front and center.
So with these dual timeline books that you're doing, because obviously very different from detective series,
Hmm.
um, is Callie Ford so your third one's coming out in September? Are there plans
Yes.
for more after that?
I don't know yet,
Okay.
honestly, because
Attention level best.
well,
She
it would definitely
enough?
be with Level Best,
Yeah.
but it's more just it's not that I don't want to write more. It's
Sure.
more just
Timing.
going forward, right, with this second right now in this series, and I also have plans for another historical fiction.
Ooh.
And this one is sort of centered around women in aviation, but it's not Amelia Earhart.
No, no. And yeah, because that story's been told.
It's been
And
told and it's been
there's no
told.
new, I mean, yeah, they keep saying they found her on that island, body, whatever parts and
Well, and
of the
another new
plane and
book
stuff,
just
but
came out with
right.
her at the center, and that's awesome.
And it's
It's just
great.
that's not the story I want to
Right.
tell. I have a different story in mind. So, um,
Oh, I love that.
yeah, so those two books that are in my head, I don't know if they will be kicked down the
Sure.
road so that I can do a Callie Ford or vice versa. If
Right.
Callie might have a little break before I come back with Callie.
Hey,
So it's really just We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
You sort of touched on it a little bit with the research for these 1918, 1920s. And you're sticking in that time period for these historical dual timelines, right? Is that with the second book you were talking about?
Well,
Your sisters.
really, it's a little bit after,
Right. But
a little bit after,
you're
but
not
yes,
going further back.
definitely close to 100 years ago. But then the Ritter and Martin, which is the her sister's death
Yeah.
characters, that historical would not go that far back.
Right.
The dual
Okay.
timeline would not go that far back. Yeah.
Gotcha. And I will say, I wrote notes because sometimes I'm a professional. That it was a finalist for the Silver Falchion Award in Killer Nashville in
That's
2023.
true.
So that's kind of awesome.
That was
I mean, not kind
exciting.
of, that's awesome.
It was exciting. And
And then a Once Upon a Book Club, which I don't know much about it because I think it's expensive, but I do know that they've given it away on Let's Make a Deal several times, like memberships, subscription.
oh, I didn't know
So
that.
I don't know if anybody won it during the
It's a
2020.
very cool
Yeah.
concept. And basically, you get your book for that month. So there's adult fiction, there's young adult, whichever one you subscribe to. And you open up the book, and as you're reading it on, let's say, page 50, there's going to be a little sticky that says open gift
Funnel.
one.
Oh
And
yeah.
gift one is labeled,
That's cool.
and gift one will tie to something on page 50. So there's like five different gifts that come
Yeah.
with the book, and they're all wrapped
So cool.
with little labels, one, two, three, four, five, and then they're all tied to something in the book.
And do they pick the gifts and then
They pick the
talk
gift.
to
So
you
let's
about it or
an example. This isn't my book, but
yeah.
for example, it might be you have a book where a character opens a bottle of wine. You might get a wine opener,
Oh, cool.
or she's wearing a silk scarf. You might get a silk
Oh my
scarf.
God.
They're nice. They're nice
Yeah,
gifts.
yeah, which is why it's
Yeah.
expensive. That's
It's
probably
yeah.
why.
So,
Um,
but it really just it kind of
yeah.
engages you in
And it
the book.
also gives a connection to people who may not have a book club, like a real book club. Like I
Yeah.
can't, or if you're housebound or if you're, can't, your library is 100 miles away or whatever, it makes you feel like a connection with
Yes.
other people, readers, writers. And I'm in my head, I'm thinking about a lot of this because I just finished The Astral Library by Kate Quinn.
Oh, I haven't read that yet.
It's essentially, living in the world of books. And so you're like, that's for those of us who don't go out a lot because we're tired and we're old and we have cats, it's kind of that connection. And I think a lot of us writers are like that. We just want to connect
You want to connect. Yeah.
with a reader. And even if it's not, the Stephen King millions and millions of readers, it's a couple of readers and it's just like, oh good. I'm glad somebody else thinks the way I
Yes.
feel, and I think it's a great service because I belonged to a couple of subscription books for the YA back in the day, and it was similar where you get different things that are tied to the book and you feel like, oh, I'm not the only one. Ooh, other people
Yeah.
are doing this. That's really cool.
Yeah. And they have Facebook groups, and I think maybe they have a Goodreads group. I'm not really sure, but yes, that connection, they can then talk about the book that
Yeah.
they've read. And that one was one where the publisher submitted it
Okay.
and it was chosen. So that was really, really fun.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah.
Who was the publisher for that one?
So the publisher is CamCat.
Oh, who published The Great Forgotten? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Is that who's going to do the next Her Sister's Death one?
Well,
Maybe. Like I have
CamCat
to
has
write it
had
first.
CamCat's had a lot of changes in
Okay.
that the founder passed away.
Okay.
Um, and so anyway, they've gone through a couple
Yeah.
sales, and they are now owned by a new publisher. So they are the adult fiction imprint of another
Okay.
publisher,
Gotcha.
and we're all still kind of getting to know each other. That is really just since the first of
Oh
the
wow.
year.
Yeah, for those that are in the trenches of publishing, God bless you, because it's not
Yeah,
for faint of heart. Because and that's how I ended up with Level Best too, is my publisher, Panda Moon Publishing. We were good before the pandemic, and then the pandemic happened and people got sick and timings got all screwed up and shipping, so the company was never firmly back on its feet. And then you become orphaned because you're like, I need to end. luckily, if you go to these conferences, Malice, I talked to Verena when she was with Level Best up here at the New England Crime Bake. And that's how I can, and the community. I mean,
The community. Yep.
Donna Ray Menard she was like, you should talk to Level Best. I'll introduce you. I'm rooming with her. We'll talk. And so she's like, go talk to
Yeah.
Verena now. And it's just
Yeah,
kind of, you get to know all these
you do.
people. So if you're ever on the fence about attending a conference, yes, it's not cheap, but even just going once, I mean, blows you out of the water because
I know.
again, it's a connection thing. You're connecting with
I
people
know.
who think like you do, who write, similar or different. And I'm a big historical mystery fan. I,
Oh, okay.
I can't write it because I'm lazy and I don't want to do all that research. I actually, you're talking research with these books, is I actually was like, I'm going to write a short story. Well, it was supposed to be for the Level Bestie anthology. And so I
Oh,
was going to write a short story about like in Boston, the Babe Ruth era, and like a young woman. And I went to research the time period that Babe Ruth was playing up here. And then I fell into a hole about the Navy Yard where women were doing the rope, putting the ropes together, this big rope thing. And then I realized the time period was too late for the anthology. So I have like
oh,
half a page of a historical short story, but yeah, it's because I feel like you can get bogged down in some, like you said,
yeah.
you saw the marker, somebody saw the marker, and then it's been in your head.
It leads to all these. I
Yeah.
mean, honestly, I had pages of five. I had
Yep.
300 bookmark sites
Oof.
on my computer.
Yeah.
I had poster boards. I had an accordion file folder. I had stacks of books. It is a rabbit hole,
Right.
and it takes.
And if you figure it's only half of your book is in the time period, that's
And a
150
lot of the
pages.
book, a lot of the research you do doesn't even get
Yep.
in, but it still is in your head.
And you know it now, right? I love trivia. So
Yeah.
now you can be like, did you ever know? Like speaking of the train,
Well, I
yeah.
mean,
Well, maybe
honestly,
not
you
trivia,
can
trivia.
order books on trains, and a lot of it's just going to go in and out of your head.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
that isn't relevant. I don't need that. I don't need
But when
that. I
it's
don't
a
need that.
train accident, that's kind of I read it. I get the Smithsonian
Yeah.
magazine because I'm like 100 years old, and they had an article about a Penn Station crash similar where it ran into the
Oh,
back
okay.
commuter rail, and it was I don't. It was obviously not a lot of fatalities. There were some, but that's been in my head. That's stuck in my head from that time
Hmm.
period. So I think you never know where the research is going to take you. And
Exactly.
you never know, it might show up somewhere else. Like you said, it
Exactly.
comes into different books the same time period.
Yeah.
Now you have it.
It's absolutely true.
Um, we have about 10 minutes left, so I want to make sure do you have book recommendations for people? And or is there a book that changed your life, or is there a book that you just read and you want to share about all that
Hmm.
good stuff?
Okay, so I'm gonna talk about four books.
Ooh,
Well, two are memoirs
okay.
because actually I read everything. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the thing about authors. I do
Mm-hmm.
read a lot of mysteries.
Yep.
By far, that's what you're going to find on my Audible
Yep.
account and my Kindle account the most.
100%.
But there's so many of them
Mm-hmm.
that I'm only going to mention, well, one's sort of a mystery, but one that is. But two memoirs, I love hearing people read their books to you.
Right.
And so Ina Garten's
Okay.
memoir
Oh
is one
God, I
that
can just hear her
I
voice.
listened to recently. You can hear her voice, and she just talks about different things. And I learned so much more about her.
Hmm.
And then because I love music, I read Cameron Crowe's
Okay.
memoir, Uncool. And it's, he talks about his own life as well as everything that was behind what the Almost Famous movie is, like
Interesting.
the things that actually happened to him in his life and who the people really were and what he thought of them and, his meetings with David Bowie and all these other really
Yeah.
fabulous musicians is so interesting.
Oh,
It's all
interesting.
true. And he
Yeah.
was 15
Phew. That's
when
crazy.
he started it,
Yeah.
writing for Rolling Stone. It's just crazy. Okay, then I don't know if you've read this book, but The Sideways Life of Denny Voss
No.
is a really great read. and there is a mystery in there, but it's also very much a family
Okay.
and community drama. And then I am very right now hanging on the edge of my seat to Susan Walter's Murder at 30,000 Feet. And it is, I'm listening to it because the narrator is Scott Brick, who is one of my
Okay.
favorite Audible narrators. He is just so good. Her work is great too.
Okay.
I think this book is awesome.
Plus, I mean, I'm assuming it's on a plane, and that's all, like the ultimate locked room mystery, right? Because
Yeah, but
it
it goes
definitely
back and
going.
forth. Like you get all the snippets in
Gotcha.
the hours leading up to the flight
Oof.
and what happens. And so she just really, really does a great job.
Got those marked down. We're gonna check those out.
Yeah, you
Um,
should check those out. I also wanted to mention before our time ran out that I did a little research too and saw on your website that you are reading at Marcy McCreary's Noir at the Bar.
I am.
Marcy is fabulous, one of
She's
my
the best.
favorite writers and a good friend. And I think it's great that you're doing that. It's such
Yeah.
a great cause.
She has done amazing work putting it together.
She has.
And I'm, first of all, I mean, I'm gonna cry just saying it because like this is my first time reading like with a real group of people. I've never read other than for my own events. So like being with Hank and being with Edwin and her husband, hopefully he can make it. I'm like, I don't even know what to do with myself. I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's going to be
Yeah.
interesting. So
Yeah.
she,
It's going
but
to be a
it
great
is,
night.
it's a sponsor. It's a event to sponsor for the Alzheimer's Association. And
Yes.
so if you, I'm going to put a link to it in the profile anyway, so
Good.
people can donate or not donate. I think bid on things, donate money,
Yeah.
raffles, all that good stuff. But yeah,
Yeah.
I love Marcy too. I saw her.
Yeah.
I was talking about it on my website about how I saw her at a Red Sox game, and I was like, I think that's Marcy. And
Yeah.
I like ran down, and I texted her on Instagram. I'm like, hey, I'm here too. And she was like, how did you see me? I'm like, well, you're right there. I'm people watching. I'm a writer.
She's out at Left Coast Crime right now,
I
and I
know.
texted her yesterday and just was like, "Hey, I'm thinking of you. Miss you. Wish I
Yeah.
was there."
Oh, she's probably having a great time. I saw they had
I
fog
know.
yesterday. So I was like, ha, you don't have perfect weather. And then it cleared up and then it was beautiful. And I was like, oh, never
Yeah,
mind.
I know.
Where can people find you?
The best place is my website,
Okay.
kellylarsonmurphy.com, which, I did just redo it in the last year. So I'm very happy about my new
Awesome.
website. Um, so check it
That's where your
out.
events will be and everything.
My events will be, yes, I have a couple this month. We're doing for the anthology that I co-edited, we're doing at a library event called Mystery Palooza. And then I will be at Suffolk Mystery Authors Festival
Okay.
mid-March.
Awesome. And then
So,
Malice at the
and
end
then
of
I'll be at
April,
Malice soon.
everybody.
Yes,
Come
yes,
find us because we'll all be there.
yes,
I'll be
yes.
there. Well, thank you so much.
Oh,
It's
you're
nice
welcome.
to meet
Thank
you
you so much for
officially.
having me. Yes, yes.
IRL, and then we will really will meet in real life in April.
Oh, yes, yes. We'll
Awesome.
definitely all get together.
Awesome. This is gonna be so
Okay.
fun. Yay.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much, Nicole.
you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Well, I don't know about you, but I learned a lot in this discussion. I can't wait to meet her in real life. And as she said, on April 15th from 7 to 9 p.m. in Newton, you can find the link and the information on my website. I will be reading for Marcy McCreary's Alzheimer's Association fundraising event. Her husband has been diagnosed with the disease, and so we hope he shows up as well. But you know how the disease is; it doesn't really lend itself to schedules. But it's going to be an amazing event. And like I said in the video, in the podcast, I'm so incredibly honored that she asked me. I was just going to, as president of Sisters in Crime New England, we were going to provide some raffle prizes, like maybe a membership or maybe a registration for the upcoming Crime Bake, put together book boxes, kind of stuff like that. But when she asked me to be a reader. I've never done a reading at an event like this. As I said, I've done it for my own events. Like people come to see me specifically because they're like, what's this baseball thing about? But to be on a same stage with Joanna Schaffhausen, who's going to be the MC, Hank Philby Ryan, who's amazing, Edwin Hill, who not only a nice guy, super great writer, and so many more. Tracy Sierra, who I did a panel with at the Crime Bake, and I thought she was fantastic, so funny. It's going to be a great event. So, I mean, if you're in the area and you're looking to get out on tax day, it's a nighttime event. So I'm like already gearing myself up 7 to 9 o'clock. But it's going to be at a great restaurant with some great snacks, lots of good raffle prizes. So check that out April 15th. You'll see the information. It's free, but obviously you can donate to the cause if you can. What else? March 14th, I'm going to Avon, Connecticut, hopefully for the Cozy Con. I'm not going as a writer, I'm going as a reader. So if you're going to pick that up on March 14th, which is a Saturday, hopefully I'll see you there. So I had a little bit yesterday. I went to Wright for a little bit, and I was in Dedham at Legacy Place because there's also a Lego store there now. And as I've talked about, I'm kind of obsessed with Legos suddenly again. So I went to Cafe Nero, did 1,000 words, sat with a table full of older folks because it was a packed house, had a delicious iced tea. And I went to the Barnes and Noble that they have there, which is a smaller one. And I decided I want to buy myself some comfort books, which is such a weird way to buy books, but I buy a lot of books because they're comforting. So I have a collection here. I just finished The Astral Library by Kate Quinn, and I cried. There's a scene towards the end where she talks about why libraries are so important and why they should be safe spaces for everyone, not just certain people. And it was just beautifully written, and it was just a great story. So Kate Quinn, who writes amazing World War II spy books too, about women characters, just wrote a beautiful love letter to libraries. And I also love in the book, there's a funny part where she kind of self-inserts, like there's a wordsmithing forge in the Magic Library, and she said, "Oh, this person's part of Kate Quinn," and it's just really cute. So I highly 5-star read for me, and I don't do 5 stars a lot. So, but I bought a lot of comfort books, so I'm going to tell you my comfort books. Whoa, sorry, that's not an earthquake. That's just me hitting my computer like an idiot. So we start with the Carnivale of Curiosities by Amiee Gibbs. Victorian London, obviously, magic circus, magic magician stuff. So yeah, that's oh, she has dreams of running away to Ireland. Hey, me too. That's kind of my dream. Another one is the Dragonflight, which is by Anne McCaffery. It's a series that I think came out a longer time ago, and this is the first in the series. Yeah, look at all those books in the Dragon Rider series. And this is book one because you got to find where the dragons came from, right? So let's see, 1968 is when it was first copywritten. Wow, I did not know that. So I'm interested to see what that's about. This is another one. I don't know where I saw it. I think it was in a Goodreads newsletter. Midnight on the Celestial by Julia Alexandra. It is a young adult set on a boat with it's a locked room magic mystery. So I'm just here for that all the time. And it is YA, but YA is for everybody, adults for everybody. This one I'm really excited about because I actually, now that I'm looking at it, I've read this author before, and she wrote a really great book called The Conductors. But it's The Starseekers by Nicole Glover. Again, magic and mystery, two of my favorite things. And it just sounds so good. I have her other books, and they're on my to be read pile, but I didn't even know that. I just saw the cover, and I was just super intrigued by it. It's little the hidden figures of it all, but it just looks really good. I love a good historical. I love a good mystery. I love a good um, magic mystery. So I'm really excited. This is the one I'm actually going to start tonight because I can't wait to read it. And I didn't just pick it up because her name's Nicole. It looks really good. So I'm going to check that out tonight. Again, on my Kindle, I have a lot of the NetGalley reads, so a lot of arcs that I'm trying to muddle my way through. What else can we talk? You know what I didn't talk about before was I just said that the Red Sox are on. We're still getting ready for the season. Stand by. We'll do next podcast. I think I have a break in between this one and my next one, so maybe in about a week and a half, I'll give you my state of the Red Sox 2026 season. I will preface it by saying I do have a book coming out in September, and the Red Sox have been really crappy about winning when I have a book coming out. The first one came out right before the pandemic hit, and they lost that season. The second one came out, and they were in last place. So, guys, please don't harsh my book release. That would be really a big bummer. But I told you some of the events that I have going on. And yeah, that's all. Captain just stuck her toe beans out. And I just want to go, I want to go blooper toe beans. So I'm going to go blooper toe beans, watch the end of the Red Sox game, get ready for the World Baseball Classic, and enjoy some good books. And I hope you enjoy some good books as well. And until next time, happy reading and go Red Sox.